Hey everybody, Nick here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all doing well. Now I know I haven't posted a video in a long time. I thought I would do this one considering it was something pretty serious and it's all over the place. People are talking about it. And that is the attempted assassination on the President of the United States at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. For those of you that don't know what the White House Correspondents' Dinner is, it's an annual event which has been going on for about a century in Washington, D.C., and it's hosted by the WHCA, which is the White House Correspondents Association, I believe, to celebrate the First Amendment, freedom of speech, and fund journalism scholarships. It's held in April every year at the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C. And it brings together the media, politicians, celebrities, as a way to fund basically scholarships for up-and-coming journalists. Now, they normally have some entertainment. It's a dinner. Most of the time it's a comedian. And then the president generally attends the event, and most of the time I think the president has a roast, which means that they make fun of the president, which is probably why Trump hasn't gone to any of them since he's been president. This would have been the first one. I don't remember if it's been canceled or they just didn't do it or whatever. I think the president has to okay it. I'm not really sure. But considering he has a very thin skin, he doesn't like being roasted. I think he was once roasted in 2011, and you could tell just if you watch the video online, you can see he doesn't like being made fun of. He absolutely cannot take a joke and can't make fun of himself. I think at this correspondence dinner, they were going to have a mentalist rather than a comedian. Now, I believe that they are being controlled, all these politicians. A lot of you who watch any of my content know that obviously there's others controlling the world, controlling politicians for a larger agenda, a much more specific agenda. So, I don't know. I'm not going to say that this was staged or hoax or any of that stuff. You be the judge. It does have a lot of things that are wrong with the whole situation, and I'll get into that in this video. I watched a few analysis. In fact, I was watching it live at the moment that I heard the shots. You couldn't make this up. I was just checking in because it showed up on my feed, and I just wanted to see what was going on. And literally I heard like, back, which kind of sounds like fireworks going off, like smaller, the crackers that they have where at New Year's, you just pull them. Not fireworks, but you know what I mean. If anyone's ever heard gunshots, you'd know basically what it sounds like. And it was just strange. I mean, I didn't get a very good view from the live feed that was going on because no one really expected that to happen. Basically, at this event, all those who were in succession of Trump, like who could become president if something were to happen to the ones that's called line of succession, basically were at this event. The chief of staff, the vice president, obviously, the secretary of war, like all these people were at the event. Many different secretaries. The Secretary of State was there. You name it. And according to what they were talking about, is the fact that there is always very good security at this event. Anywhere the president goes, there's tight security, especially if it's a sitting president. If it's a former president, they also have pretty good security. They still have Secret Service that stays with them for the rest of their lives, which Trump spoke about wanting to take away from previous presidents, which is kind of bizarre. But a lot of inconsistencies at this dinner, at this event, things that happened. I'll give you one example. The press secretary, I can't remember her name. If I can find the video of her doing an interview before the event started, she's talking about how the president has a great speech coming up that he wrote, and it's going to be like gunshots going off or something like that. It was very strange to use those words for this type of event. I mean, was she doing a Freudian slip? I don't know. I don't really know. It was just a very strange choice of words to use to describe how President Trump's speech is going to go off, like how well it's going to be received. Very, very strange to start off, to say the least.
Ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking forward to hearing it.
I love it all. And you wrote most of it, you said.
I can't take credit. In true Donald Trump fashion, the man puts his pen to the paper himself. So it's a lot of...
Then there's how people were reacting on the stage, where the president and vice president and the White House Correspondents' dinner chair was also sitting. I guess she's the president, I'm not sure. And when the Secret Service came in, they grabbed the vice president first. I mean, this may be nothing, but they grabbed him first, took him away, and it was just like a lot of them seemed not so surprised. It almost seemed like a rehearsal. I don't know how to explain it. You'd have to watch how it unfolded for yourself. But it's just very strange the way people reacted during it. I mean, even the secretary of, what's it called? It's one of the Kennedys. It's the guy with the funny sounding voice because he can't talk that well. Robert Kennedy Jr. And he gets taken away and his wife is being left behind. You see people kind of starting to try to chant USA, USA, even though it doesn't really get going. You get the UFC guy, what's his name? Oh, Dana White, that's his name. I couldn't remember. He was like, it's so awesome. I was taking in the moment. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing.
It started getting noisy. Tables getting flipped over, guys running in with guns, and they were screaming, "Get down!" I didn't get down. It was fucking awesome. I literally took every minute of it in, and it was a pretty crazy, unique experience.
So you were on the aisle. What exactly did you see?
We were sitting right in front of the table.
Okay.
Right in front of where the president was.
Table. Yes. And what exactly happened? So someone got tackled or what?
Nobody got tackled, but guys came in looking for shooters. And they came toward our table. I thought the shooter was over by us or something. But yeah.
Outside. So you didn't see the actual attacker itself. Okay.
And just, you don't really react in that way if something dangerous is going on. You kind of want to be more cautious. But a lot of people just seem to be bewildered and lost, and I guess maybe it was because of the Trump. It was a traumatic experience, and you don't know what could happen. So the guy who basically barged through the security, even though they caught him before he was well even close to getting into the ballroom. Was heavily armed, had a knife or whatever, and apparently he was a guest at the hotel. I mean, you'd think if they do these events, they would not have guests stay there for when the President of the United States is there, right? That's kind of strange. I don't know in previous years if they've cleared the hotel and not let guests stay just for that one night. I'm really not sure. But apparently this guy was a guest at the hotel, at least the few nights prior to the event. Another thing you'll notice is that the president was very awkwardly looking around. And when they came to take him away, he couldn't even stand on his own 2 feet. He had kind of stumbled and fell. And I mean, whatever, that may not be anything considering he's like almost 80 years old and not in the best shape to get the hell out of there. But he basically played it off and did a 60 Minutes video, a 60 Minutes interview, and he was like, no, I didn't want to leave because I wanted to find out what it was. I was told to just go down, crouch down to the floor. So obviously he doesn't like the optics, so he'll use another excuse to make it look not as bad as it was, even though we can all see what happened. Again, he's an older man, so he's an old man, so I can understand that. Curiously, this is also the same hotel that the attempt on President Ronald Reagan occurred, I think, back in 1981. I don't remember who the attempted assassin was, but it's not the first time. I'm not saying that assassinations are all staged or if they're, part of the globalist agenda or any of that stuff. I really don't know. I mean, I didn't do a video of the first assassination attempt in Pennsylvania, which happened, I think it was in July of 2024. Yeah, I mean, maybe I could do a video about that, but it's almost 2 years on. And even there's a lot of suspect things about that assassination attempt as well. And that's when he was not the President of the United States currently. He was campaigning. And I also want to be clear, I'm not condoning at all any violence, especially not towards the sitting president or any other politician for that matter. I'm just simply doing an analysis of what I saw happened and what could have happened or what I think happened. I'll keep to myself whether I think it was a hoax or a staged event. You be the judge again, as I mentioned. The other strange thing that happened right after that Trump was taken to the White House, because it's not that far from the Hilton Hotel, is he wanted to have a press conference talking about what happened. And that's fine. Nothing really that strange about it. I mean, you have to show strength somehow and that you're not going to be intimidated by a would-be assassin. But he started to go on about how it's not a secure location and that he loved that ballroom that he started creating. I don't know how many of you know about that, but he started creating a ballroom as part of the White House for events to go on, whatever it may be. And he started justifying, saying, well, that's why we need the ballroom. That's why we need this. That's why we need to have that, because it's complete security. The military wants it, this and that.
And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight. And I will say, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before.
Don't you find that very strange that, a lot of people were going against the ballroom being done because they demolished a very significant and important part of the White House? Not that I care, I'm just saying according to Americans and political historians. But I think that's very strange. Now, do they need something like a false flag or whatever to maybe go ahead fully with it? Even though he said that it wasn't going to be taxpayer funded, apparently now it will be for a large, some senators are trying to get more money to go towards it, to have top security. Now, okay, his argument may be sound. Yes, okay, they try to say the world is more dangerous these days, but they've done that event there many a time. I mean, it is heavily secured. They don't joke around. They don't mess around when it comes to that. Now, that's why I tend to think that maybe they let their guard down. Why would that? How would this guy be able to get in so easily? I don't know. There's all these different question marks. But could that be a reason? Could he be using this as an excuse now to get the ballroom done fully without any blockages? I think there's a lawsuit going on towards the White House because of what they're doing. I'm not really sure. I think it's and he also wants to build a arc similar to that in Paris, near a memorial, near one of the most well-recognized memorials, like World War II. I can't remember the name of it either. I think it's in Dallas or something. I can't remember. And people are against that as well. It's just all very strange. There's just so many inconsistencies. And even the White House Correspondents president or chair, she mentioned that they're going to cancel it now, and Trump is going to do a press conference at the White House. And she said, no, that's not a joke.
This is a room full of reporters, so I know you've already seen the president's tweet. My apologies, his post on Truth Social. And law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises consistent with protocol. And he wanted to emphasize that nobody was hurt. He and the First Lady, the cabinet, everybody's safe. The president will be having a press briefing at the White House in 30 minutes. That is not a joke. And he insists that we will reschedule this event in the next 30 days.
So I think it's just all very weird. Maybe I'm leaving some stuff out, I'm not sure, but if I can find some of the sound bites, I will include it in the video. So they were going to continue on with the dinner, but then they canceled it, citing that it was just too dangerous and too many variables, too many possibilities of maybe there's someone else involved. Now, any such behavior and attempts of violence, I completely and utterly condemn, no matter what. No matter who you like, who you don't like, or whatever, violence should never be the answer. Especially if you disagree with a politician or whatever. It's wrong on so many levels. So there's been a report coming out, the fact that they're saying that Trump is terrified and doesn't really want to leave the White House, especially the first few days after. I mean, you can never tell what the truth is anymore, like whether these people, a tabloid could be making it up, who knows. If it's real, I can understand some of the fear. It's a normal feeling to have. Let's hope that this isn't used to take away more rights and freedoms from American people, from anybody. Because I think there was a tweet a while ago, and this doesn't really have to do with this, but Trump was saying on his platform, Truth Social, that as a citizen, he's willing to give up his rights and freedoms for more security, which is, I think they want to pass some sort of FISA law, which means that the government can spy more on the people. Even though years ago he said that they used it against him, it should never be used, and during his campaign, I think his first campaign. So, like, which guy are we dealing with here? This guy flip-flops on so many different issues. If there's anything that I missed regarding this situation at the White House Correspondents' dinner, please let me know. I'm trying to remember if there's anything else that was very strange that happened whilst at the dinner. Oh, that's one thing I just remembered. He tried to say like that people were coming together. This event brought a lot of people, there was a lot of love in the room. He said that a Democrat politician came up and wanted to hug him and all these things.
It was amazing. There was love in the room.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think that the tone changed?
People came together. Democrats that truly can't stand me were saying, "Sir, could I just shake your hand?" I mean, I'm leaving and I'm seeing people, high-level people, and they're saying, "Sir, great job. Sir, could I?" One of them, I don't want to. You probably have it on tape someplace. One of them said, "Could I hug you?"
He did a 60 Minutes interview, like I think either the next day, and the interviewer was asking about the would-be assassin's manifesto that they found, and asking questions about like what he thinks about the quote. So she started reading a quote from it saying, "I am a citizen of the United States of America. What my representatives do reflects on me, and I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes." So this is part of how Trump responded. I can't show the whole thing. Check it out on YouTube if you want the whole interview.
I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile.
And Trump got pretty pissed off. If you have a chance to see the interview, you'll see there's more to it. Pretty crazy reaction by him. So again, if you guys did watch any of the footage, and if there's anything you want to mention in the comments that you found very, very strange about that evening, that makes it kind of look, suspect, I really appreciate it, and I look forward to your comments. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.